It's me, Unapologetically T, and I am here, and I wanted to talk about being a parent, being a parent and growing up in severe trauma, even if your trauma wasn't as severe as mine. Your parents definitely can leave traumatizing marks on you. I think of it as in when we think about our genetic coding, those things go into our genetic coding and get passed on from lineage to lineage. Generation to generation, it gets carried on. And until someone decides this isn't right, we're gonna have to stop doing this. And they do the hard work to actually stop those cycles and stop repeating the same mistakes. Things get better. For me, I honestly look at it, even though my ancestors before me, and now all of them, perpetuated the bull crap. But for those who did, they did the best they could with what they knew and what they had. I contribute a lot of this stuff to colonization. I have studied ancient cultures. I have studied different civilizations, and this was not anywhere in my ancestry. And even if you can find certain notes of it, it wasn't accepted. It wasn't accepted. So it doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but it wasn't acceptable. It was not acceptable, and it was not condoned. However, in colonization, a lot of this stuff was taught. It was a lot of taught behavior. Hurt people continue to hurt people, and we couldn't hurt our oppressors, so a lot of the stuff got taken out on each other. But saying all that, I've been getting to the root causes of my problems. In order to get to the root cause of my problems, I have to get to the root cause of where the fuck all this came from. So, at the end of the day, a lot of our issues and traumas, whether you are white, black, brown, yellow, purple, green, don't identify with being a human being, I don't care what. If you are living a human experience, colonization has traumatized the fuck out of you in certain aspects. For me, in my parenting, and I brought this up because in parenting, before I even got to this point in my healing, I was scared to death to bring a child in this world and mistreat it the way I was mistreated. And this was before even all the stuff came out. This is when I was a 19-year-old. Well, I was 20 when I found out. But when I was 20 and I found out I was going to have a child, I literally didn't want to give her the same parenting that I gave, that I had. And at the same token, there were some things that I didn't even realize were wrong that I did in my parenting. I still do in my parenting that I'm trying to break out of. When you have habits, you literally have to break them. So, and I can't break everything all at once. I've broken some major fucking chains that was holding me hostage and also holding my child hostage, because it was definitely being passed on to her. And I don't ever want to have a situation where I feel like I have to be this perfect parent, but I also don't want to have a situation where it's 30 years later and my child has to come to me and tell me about all this shit that I done wrong, and I can't acknowledge or validate her feelings or experiences. A lot of parents have done a lot of damage to their children, whether it was, and I don't know the quality of sound for this, but because the wind is really blowing. But a lot of parents have done damage to their children, and because they have such a bruised and even damaged and broken ego that they didn't get to heal because they didn't know how, or they didn't want to. They were comfortable how they were. They literally, you know, made life a lot harder for their children. And I was going through that with my mom. It's really hard for those old school parents to admit they were wrong in parenting. Even with my mom, I know my mom been telling me horror stories of her life since I was a little girl. I shouldn't have even probably known some of the horror stories of her life at the age that I was, but I don't even think she realized that they were horror stories. But then in a sense she did. It was like a confusion, like the same way I grew up. It was like, yeah, this is abuse, but it's family. These people love me. And so when she would tell these stories, like I began to get older, and I would tell her, like, you know, that's not right, that's abuse. You know, she faced abuse a lot, and it wasn't just her, it was a lot of her siblings. A lot of them faced abuse. Her mom had a lot of kids. Her mom suffered with alcoholism. You know, she had issues with men the same way I had issues with men, where it was just like, I think she kind of put them before, like, loved them more than she loved herself. There was a lot of different, I think there was a lot of different, and it goes further and deeper than that, but there's a lot of different things that she talked to me about at a very young age that, like, it was abuse to me, and I couldn't speak up about it because it was her mom. And then the older I got, I was like, well, you know, like, it's okay that you love your mother, but it's also okay to acknowledge that, you know, you were abused. But she can't see it that way. She was like, well, I can't blame my parents for my life. And she's right. Like, so once you get to the awareness that, you know, they contributed to your abuse, you have to realize that that's not your fault. It's their fault, the abuse they caused. But it is your fault if you choose not to heal. And so I think she more looks at it like, okay, well, my decisions I made in adulthood was my decision I made in adulthood. That's absolutely fucking correct. But we can't negate that, you know, people are raising children, and we're putting the age of 18 as you're an adult. And we all know that age doesn't make you an adult. It's a lot of probably 6 or 7 year olds who have been adultified that will be more adult-like than someone who is 18 who lived a pampered life and didn't have to be adultified. Like, those kids will have a more sense of responsibility and what it is to be an adult than the kid who got to be a kid. So this age limit we put on stuff, and we be like, oh, well, you're an adult. But if you've been severely traumatized, like, you're not making decisions based off, like, wisdom all the time. You're making decisions based out of trauma and based out of the protections you've created to handle, you know, the different experiences and the ingrained, you know, experiences and effects that it has had. So you build up these protections, and they literally guide your life, and it's not most of the time for the best. This is a journey, and when it's your time to break out of your cycle, you will. Some people don't, and that's sad. But, like, I just feel like, as far as us as parents, when we decide to have these children, like, it is our job to give this shit our all to make sure that we do better than what was done for us. We'll never be perfect. We will scar them some fashion or form. We will scar them, and I say that like you can scar them by embarrassing them around their friends. Like, that's why I was laughing, because like you can scar them in so many ways, and it's just about like showing up every day and trying to be better than what you had. I've been fighting my ass off. Like, I've been fighting my ass off since before I had my child, and I was fighting my ass off when I had her. That's why it was so important for me to get help. There are like so many mental health resources out there. However, the trick is that there isn't always availability, because if the therapist or the psychiatrist is good, they're going to be booked because they're good. So the quality isn't always great. There's a lot of resources out there, but the quality isn't always great. A lot of times when you're going through these things, you literally have to find a therapist that fits you, and a lot of people give up or give in on that process. And I feel like there's a lot of resources out there, but there are also like a lot of resources that are like hidden. There's a lot of resources that are not given to certain communities. There's a lot of not having representation, and so representation in this field that's available to different people, like, because how can you help me with my life if you don't share similar experiences as me? So that's a big one. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, and it's not that you can't be helped with someone who doesn't, but it definitely helps when you can have a therapist or a psychiatrist who knows struggle, and not all of them know the same struggle as you. There's like, you'd be like surprised at how many psychiatrists or therapists aren't well versed in narcissistic behaviors and tendencies. Like, a lot of them couldn't even spot one, because most of them are one. So that's literally, you have to be careful about who you pick, and because you can be harmed by the therapist or the psychiatrist. So it's a lot that goes into getting help that a lot of people don't talk about. But I do suggest you find help, whether it's, if you're having mental health crisis, definitely go seek, professional help. But if you are struggling with things in the spiritual realm, like, there's a lot of spiritual healers out here, but the same goes for alright, so the thing, my bad, I was trying to turn. So the same thing goes, like, when you're dealing with healers and stuff in the spiritual community. Like, you have to, it's a lot of information. We're being saturated with a lot of information, some misinformation, and you have to sift through. It's the same with the people and the systems that's out here. Like, the spiritual community is becoming mainstream, and like, that's a good thing in the sense that, more people are literally looking at holistic healing. So it's good in that way, but at the same time, you're gonna have things that are not really there to help you, because it is becoming more mainstream. So you have to be careful of like who you go to get, your spiritual healing and consultation from. You have a lot of people preying on people, and you have to be careful. All I can say is, don't dismiss things completely just because you've had a bad experience, and that goes with finding a therapist, finding a psychiatrist if you need medicine, If you're in a spiritual community, find someone who you could trust that can teach you, how to continue, your spiritual work and how to heal and guide you through healing. But yeah, it's a lot of predators out here in this world, and but don't let that discourage you from getting help. And there's like so many avenues and pathways to do this. Like if you're religious, the same way. All religions, like religious places, like, so when we think about like churches, mosques, temples, like and so on and so on, like you're gonna have predators in these systems. And I feel like you have so many predators in the systems that are designed to help us for a reason. It's designed that way so that you don't get the help. It's designed that way so that you don't get the help. So make sure you advocating for yourself. The same way you fight for others, fight for yourself. I had to learn that, and I'm still practicing it. Today it was funny because I just wanted to come out by myself. I literally didn't even want my daughter to come, but I was willing to let her come because, like I said, I don't like leaving her at the house by herself. Because sometimes, like, when I come back, like, I can literally tell, like, there's like a psychological warfare going on in there. You say spiritual, psychological, like they literally be playing mind games in that house. So I really don't like leaving her there because I could tell it takes a toll on her. So but today I just really needed time to myself. And I wanted to like celebrate Eid, which she tried to observe Ramadan with me, and she did a good job, but she broke fast a lot. But she did do a good job. I'm gonna give it to her. And this was her first year, like, because we never required her to do it the other years as a small child. So like this was her first year actually attempting to do it, and she did a good job trying. And I'm proud of her, but she did break fast, and I feel like I should just be celebrating myself. I did wish I had a community to celebrate with, but I really do need some time to myself. I had some time yesterday, but yeah, I was still like running errands for I don't even think it was yesterday, but whatever day I went out and did all these videos, I was running errands for getting food and doing this and paying this and getting, I think she needed, meds, like popsicles and stuff like that, to kind of help her with her allergies and all that stuff. So I literally, it was time to myself, but it was time me doing stuff. So today I'm literally going out and doing something for myself. And I'm gonna eat a nice meal. I think I'm gonna watch the movie Lady in the Yard. But this is a part of my healing and parenting. Like, besides my mom doing drugs, like my mom rarely took breaks from us. So like that was a mental break. She always used to say that. Like I felt like when I would get high, I was leaving y'all. And so like mentally, like she would be on the break. And even when she wasn't high, like I do this in the house. Mentally, like I would distance myself. Like, baby, you were talking to a brick wall. Yeah, I hear you. I really don't care. So like mentally, like I can go off, and I tell y'all that like I can go off real quick, and I'm proud of myself because I've been intentionally being here. And I don't need a drug to do that. Like a lot of y'all need drugs to do that. Like, baby, it is a natural God-given ability that I've had since a little kid, and I think trauma has helped me tap into it. But I could go anywhere and anyhow in any second and don't be here, and the body will still be and I'll have another part of me sitting with you. So I've been happy that I have been consciously here. But yeah, like that's something that I'm breaking the cycle of that my mom didn't do for herself. I think that she thought being a good mom was being present physically. And she rarely took time just for herself. Like, she didn't just go with her and her girls here or there. Most of the times, like, I didn't see that, like, her going out on a weekend or stuff like that. Like, it was, she did a lot of her fun at the house. And so I always told her once I grew up, like, shit, I understand why you did drugs. Like, this shit is hard. And so when I talk about the truth that has happened in my life, it doesn't mean that I don't have any understanding or sympathy or compassion. It actually meant that I've had too much. I was too busy empathizing with my abusers opposed to honoring what the fuck damage it had on me. And so now that I've processed a whole lot, and I'm still processing and releasing and forgiving myself, and I feel like I've always forgiven them, but they've always kept repeatedly abusing me. And learning now that I can forgive myself for allowing that repeated abuse to happen once I was able to be older and be in control of my own power and who I allow to have access with me to me. But I do feel like I'm talking about this part of my mother's parenting because I kind of picked up on it. Like, there was no boundaries or no space. Like, literally, she could be in the bathroom, like, and I would walk in and be in the bathroom with her. And I brought that on to my parents, and like, it was like I literally had no space. Even the fucking dog would like bust up in the bathroom. And because I do like I don't know like why I like using the bathroom without closing the door, but I do. If I'm in my own house, like, I like using the bathroom without closing the door. But like, I even got to the point where like I'm gonna close this door, and it's like, you know, the boyfriend gonna come in, the daughter gonna come in, the dog's gonna bust in after they done came in, and it's just like, but when everybody else was using the bathroom, like, it was like a sin for me to come into the bathroom. I was like, what are you doing? And so that let me know, like, I'm using this as an example, but there is no boundaries for me. And there's no time for self. Like, I literally used to try to go to the bathroom just to have time to myself. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. I used to try to go take walks to have time for myself, and I couldn't get it. And it even tried to repeat here. And I used to like had to tell, like, I went for a walk, and I had to tell her, like, look, I don't need you to follow me. Well, I just wanted to make sure you was okay. Lady, I'm a grown-up. I can take a walk. Like, what we not about to do is act like I can't take a walk. Like, in your far away safe ass community. Like, it's like, so it's like paving out having time to myself without feeling guilty or feeling like I'm doing something wrong. I definitely got that from watching the parenting that my mom gave. Like, literally, I'm not saying that there wasn't times that she wasn't, you know, out having the time of her life. I'm just saying that she never took time to do it in a healthy way for herself. It was more at her detriment than ours. But for me, I think I should be able to like get out, and that's what I did today. And I know I was getting ready, so I didn't even want my child to come, but I was like, you know, she had been in the house for a couple of days, and I could tell that, you know, even her anxiety was high, like when we went out the other day to get some food to break fast. And her anxiety was like really high being in public, and I was like, oh no, we gonna have to start getting out the house this summer and spring, because girl, what we not about to do is be some recluse. Like, I did not come this far to be a recluse. Like, so I was like, let me ask her, even though I want to do this shit by myself. But thank God she wasn't ready to come outside. And I was like, yes. So then it was like, okay, I took my shower, got dressed, and was headed out the door. And then my mom says, like, oh, well, why you ain't tell, like, oh, I was like, I was just letting her know courtesy, like, I'm about to go to such and such. She was like, oh, what you about to go do, like, out there? Like, I was like, oh, I don't even know, I'm just getting out the house, I just want to get out the house. And that was true, I just wanted to get out the house. I really didn't have, like, any direct plans. I do know some, like, stuff I wanted to kind of do, but it wasn't nothing set in stone. I was letting the day take me. I love it when that happens. It's so magical. Like, it really is magical. So she was like, oh, well, you should have let me know. Why you ain't let me know? And this happens a lot in that house. Like, why you ain't let me know? And I was like, oh, well, I kind of was just thinking about myself today. Like, I just wanted to, do for myself. And she was like, oh, but I was like, it ain't that serious. And I kind of lied. I did prefer and wanted to spend today by myself. And so I kind of lied and was like, it's a lie, because I was like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Like, if you wanted to go, you can go, but I'm not, like, I don't have, like, I'm gonna go to this place, that place. It's just more of me just doing me. And so I told the truth about that part, but I was like lying about that she could come and it wouldn't be a big deal to me. I think it would have probably ended up being a big deal to me, so thank you, God. But she was like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna worry about it. You deserve to have some time to yourself. And I was like, thank God, where the fuck this come from? Like, maybe setting boundaries do help people, see that you're a fucking human being. Maybe verbalizing that I just wanted time to myself today do let people know, because usually in the past I'd be like, oh, well, I don't know why I ain't asked you, when deep down inside I know I ain't tell you because I ain't want you to come. Like, so it's like, well, maybe that did. And so I want to get better and better at this, like, we're to the point where, like, I don't even have to lie and say, well, I don't want you to come. I want to get better and better at this, that even though I want a day to myself, and oh yeah, I want my daughter to get outside. Well, maybe today ain't her day to get outside. Like, so I'm getting better though. Like, cause at some point, like, I wouldn't have even made it outside. I would have thought about all these different fucking reasons about why I can't go spend time to myself. Like, oh, well, then Shaw doesn't want to go, and then, like, I don't feel like doing this, and then they don't want me to get something while I'm out, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's breaking that guilt trippy shit. Like, the guilt trippy shit of, oh, you went out, you didn't ask me if I wanted anything. No, I didn't. I was thinking about myself, and that's okay sometimes. Like, it's okay for me to think about myself sometimes. Like, I should be thinking about myself. I'm a whole person, and I'm just seeing my growth, and I'm seeing some of the cycles I'm breaking in parenthood that aren't so great. I've broken some big ones, but there's some ones that I'm slowly breaking that would be healthy for me and my daughter when she have her kids. Like, cause I rarely take breaks from her, and I think that is insane, and it does drive me to insanity. It drives me to loving her out of obligation, because I'm just so burnt out and tired. So I literally will love to see her in motherhood. I would love to see myself in motherhood, once I am in a more stable situation, and stable mentally, financially, all that stuff. The physical, like having a home, I would not want to have no kids in that home. I don't even like having the damn teenager in that situation. So, but yeah, I would love to see me in motherhood again, in a healthier way. Because I did a damn good job as a child having a kid. Like, yeah, mentally I was responsible, but I was still a hurt child. I was a hurt and damaged child having a child, and of course I was gonna leave scars. We're gonna leave scars no matter how healed we are. We're gonna leave our children with some sort of scars, but it's not that we're not gonna hurt them in the process of raising them. Like, it's just that because you can hurt your child's feelings by telling them no. It's just about validating their experiences and hearing them out and understanding your children. So yeah, fucking dropping that ego. Healing the ego, because like a lot of people say, like, you know, you gotta kill the ego. Nah, if you heal the ego, heal the ego. Heal the ego. If you heal the ego, yeah, there's parts of you that no longer exist anymore, but you gotta heal your ego, and it'll be there with you. It'll be there with you and being in alignment with you. So heal the ego, acknowledge the ego, because the ego is gonna be there. It's whether you wanted to be there suppressed, damaged, or healed, and it's a constant thing. So I'm gonna go in this place and I'm gonna have me a time figuring out what I want to do, what I want to eat, cause I'm gonna celebrate tonight. Cause I got to drink water this morning without having to figure out whether the sun was up. The water was the biggest one for me. Like, I miss, and it's crazy because I be dehydrating myself sometimes even when it's not, or I'm not. So I think that has helped me, because it's like, bitch, the water's right there now. Like, you can drink the water. Like, so I'm gonna go in here and have a time. I can get coffee if I want to, even though I'm not a big coffee drinker. But like, there were days where like I needed coffee. Like, I needed coffee, but who drank a coffee at 7:30? Like, who's drinking coffee that late? No one. So yeah, it's fun that I get to just do things willingly, eat. I got to eat when I woke up. That was cool. That was really nice. But yeah, I'm focusing on the little things in parenting that makes things better. Having time to yourself helps you and your kid, because when you come back, you're actually happy to be there. So yeah.